Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope you are okay on that side of the screen. And today, as promised, here we are with the Zepp app. Zepp or Amazfit. If you have any device from Amazfit, you will use this app, and if you have from Zepp, you will use this app as well. Now, in my opinion, before we start, it is a really well balanced app, and it works with devices that I love. I will leave some links right over here. The one that I'm using right now is the Zepp Z, which is the one that fits all my needs, at least almost all of them. And I only don't use it on one or other scenario where I do feel that the watch will not be well used. For example, kite surfing session where I will be on salt water for a long time, and it's just not good for it. So I will use something cheaper like the Amazfit BP Pro that we have seen here on the channel. I'll try to leave a link right over there. Now let's go to the app. It had a nice refresh not too long ago, and I want to share with you every detail right away. Everything. Now we have 3 buttons right over here that we will go through them, and on the top right corner we have a shortcut, which we will start with this one. So if I want to go directly to any data that I've got right over here, I can just press and I can check how many steps that I did. Today 7,400 and yesterday 17,000, so it's not bad at all. If I want to check calories, here I am. If I want to check my personal activity indicator, here I am. So there are a lot of shortcuts right over here which are very useful in my opinion. Now looking at the first page, which is the home, we can customize all that and we will see how to in just a few moments. But the first that I've got to me is the personal activity indicator, which is an algorithm which is very useful in my opinion. And regardless if this number means anything to you or to me, there is a way that really helps me when I look at the screen. And this is basically knowing that the number 100 is the one that the algorithm finds, and who's behind this used some studies that will give us a 100 as a normal activity human being. So when I look at the number, if I'm below 100, I know that I'm not being active, so I need to do a little bit more. If I'm above 100, then I'm okay. And if I open the personal activity indicator, it will show me the last 7 days. So if I go back a couple of days, you will see that the number was only 227. So if I go right over here to today, is 284 based on the activities that I do. And beneath it will show me the heart rate that I did and the points that I got. So today I only got 12 points, doing 1 on low, 8 on moderate and 3 on intensive. But if I go to yesterday, you'll see that I had 54 personal activity indicator points because I did a jogging session. I will share the details with you so that you have an idea. But as you can see, if you do an intensive session, which I wouldn't recommend like this every single day, you will get a really nice score. Now if you want to read a little bit more, you can just pause the video and you will see there what is personal activity indicator, and there is a Q&A as well, but that doesn't really matter. Now in terms of customization, besides being able to customize this, as we will see, I can also press this button and show more info of each of these panels or less info. Now if I go to the sleep data, this is one of my weakest points. I really sleep not too many hours, so we will see that I've got 4 hours of sleep last night, and it will show me if it was deep sleep or light sleep, or if I was awake, and so on and so forth. So it will give me a score, it will give me some recommendation below if I'm above, and everything right over here is important. I did a nap on that day of 1 hour and 19 minutes because I was obviously tired, and it also allows me to select if I did wake up calm or sleepy or excellent. Usually I'm always excellent when I wake up. I'm always active. I want to go jogging and things like that, even when I just sleep 4 hours a day. But you will see all the info right over here, which is helpful. If I go to the other evening, I didn't because I was charging the smartwatch, but 6 hours is my usual thing. There is one night over here which is 3 hours only. This was when I went to take my kid to a tournament, and then I came home and didn't sleep the rest of the evening, just watch TV, because that's who. But the interesting thing right over here is that data is collected, and the smartwatch that we use is accurate. In this particular case, the Zepp Z gives me this accurate data. Now if I go to the heart rate, for example, I can just press right over here and it will go give me the history of today, the heart rate zones that my body was today, and it will give me the average heart rate and a lot more info. If I go to yesterday, for example, if I scroll like this, it will give me, as you can see, I was yesterday with my jogging session 1 hour and 14 minutes on the maximum heart rate zone. I'll show you that as exercise in a minute. And as you can see right over here, the manual measured results. I did measure today because I was preparing the review and wanted to check a few things. So as you can see, I did a lot of measurements, and we can just scroll. We can see by week, we can see by day, month, year, and so on and so forth. Now there is also two things right over here. One is the stress and the other one is the oxygen levels in our blood, and these two results right over here are the only two that to me are a bit more weird. They're not completely inaccurate, but sometimes I feel calm and it says that I'm stressed, and vice versa. And the SpO2, I also have tested with the oximeter on my finger at the same time of the watch, and it gives me roughly 98%, while this one gives me 96%. So a little bit off right over here, nothing really serious, but just have this in mind. Now the weight and BMI, they're not on the right track. I should be on the 73, 72, ideally 70 kilos to be fit, but yeah, I like to drink a little bit of wine, beer, and to eat a few things, so I need to keep on jogging and biking and things like that. But as you can see, if I go to the history right over here, back in 16 of December 12/19, I was 72.4, which is great for me. And you will have the history right over here. The ideal weight should be, it says 65. 65 is too low for me. Really low. I don't want to be that thin, so forget about that. 70 is the limit. Of course, we also have the information about the BMI, so we can see where we are. So although these are not very 100% accurate numbers, it will give us a good idea on where we are and how we will improve. Now, activities. This is one of the most interesting, and probably I should start with this one, but I did keep the default order, which we can change. Now, if I look at the card, I can see that I did 5 activities with 292 minutes on total, and it shows me the 2 most recent activities. Now, one of which was my biking session this morning, and if I press, it shows me that I did 26 kilometers. I can see on the map like this, which is better. I can see the kilometers, I can see this data. I can, of course, as we've seen on some reviews, the GPS tests that I do, it's not 100% correct, but to me close enough. And then of course I've got more details right over here. Now I've got this magnifying option right over here, which will allow me to put 3 graphics on top: the speed, the altitude, and the heart rate. But I cannot press, or it will stop recording the screen, so I will not be able to show you that. I also have the heart rate right over here, and then the heart rate zones. As you can see, it was an exercise that didn't push too much out of me. I was mostly on the 3rd level of the heart rate zone, so aerobic, and that was cool. Will show me the altitude, elevation gain, maximum, gradient distribution, and the laps, being that the 23rd was the fastest one, probably one really downhill. Now, if I go back and press here, view more, for example, I've got one other exercise that I did on this morning, which was a freestyle. Freestyle just means that I go there to my gym and I do some push-ups, I do some abdominals, I do some weightlifting, and a few HIIT sessions on the treadmill. So simple things like half an hour so that I can warm up, and then after that I go for a jogging session or I go for a biking session. But it will record the areas and the heart rate zone. So really nice app, really nice accessories, because if we don't have the accessory, the app will not read. And I want to show you also the yesterday jogging session, which was really hard. And here I can see, besides the pace, the heart rate zones, as you can see, completely different from the exercise that I did today. Here it shows me that I was 90% on my difficult heart rate zone, which it was really intensive. I'm sore, and today was just a relaxing bit on the bike, but that was it. Now the information very similar to the bike. I was forgetting about something right over here. I have the detailed data. This happens with any exercise. I can open it up and it will show me this, all this info right over here, just in a glimpse, is where it says detailed data. Really nice. So if I go back, I've got a lot more activities. I want to show you one other activity where I do not use my Zepp Z. I use the Amazfit BPU Pro, which is a cheaper device but really nice. Right over here, as you can see, and I'm gonna put the map. This is one of my kite surf sessions, and I'm a beginner, so I'm on the beginners area, but this just means that I'm 2 hours plus inside water and salt water, and for this kind of watch, for the price that you pay for it, it's just not worth it. So I would suggest something cheaper like the Amazfit BPU Pro, which has a great GPS like this one right over here. As you can see, it will mark everything that I do, and it's just a great tool. So there are roughly 60 spots that we can track with the app, and of course with the accessories. So in terms of activities, here we are. In terms of steps, I can just check out the steps, and it will give me the average of steps per day on this week, last month, and the month previously. And of course today was not that much, but if I go to yesterday, 17,000, because I did a jogging session, so that was it. Now I also have some tools right over here, one of which I don't use, these red ones, which is the option to use the app without the accessory, but really I prefer to use the watch to track everything that I do, so I don't use these ones. And of course I've got options to accept or do not accept incoming calls while I'm doing my sports. I've got the vibration options, watch faces that we have seen on the review, so we will not, app alerts, alarms, and so on and so forth, and edit the data cards. Now if I think that, to me, it's most important, the steps, then the personal activity indicator, I can just put it there and it will do. And yeah, I can press done, and if I go here to the top, then I've got the steps instead of a personal activity indicator. So this is what I can do, and of course there are other menus that are not included, but we can just scroll them up, like calories or ECG or something like that, that we need to put there, or we want to put there. And that is it regarding the first screen. Let's go to the health. This one is a quick one. It's basically a shortcut that reminds me if I've done anything in the past few days. So if we take a look, walking, it says that I walked 85 days ago. If this appears on running or cycling, it's not a good indicator. So this is a great reminder. 85 days, okay, I need to go for a walk. In my particular case, I'm okay because it says that I run 1 day ago and I did cycle today, so I'm excused. But even though I don't like to see 85 days there, so probably tomorrow I'm going to do a walking session. And then I've got the target settings, and I do have 10,000 steps that to reach my target. Today I didn't, I'm only at 7,500 roughly. My target weight, 70, and my target calories, which is the default, and the sleep hours, 8, which I'd never do, and then friends, and I can also edit the cards right over here. And then finally we have the profile, show me the devices that I've got. At this moment I've got all these connected, and some of them I have disconnected, but I have all the devices from Amazfit and also from Zepp, because I really enjoy the devices and I enjoy the app, as you might see by my biased review, but biased because it is a nice product in my opinion, and it works great with the accessories. Now I also have here my goals, which is really nice. No, it's not my goals that I want to show you. This is just another menu that we can select the targets. What I want to show is my records. As you can see, outdoor running, my furthest distance, my maximum time running, my minimum time for 3k, for 5k, for 10k, and my minimum time for running half a marathon. I just need to do a marathon, but honestly I'm not really sure if I'm going to. Now outdoor cycling, furthest distance, okay, we have all these results. I don't have climbing, I don't do climbing, but it's really nice to keep your results, because at some point I will forget, and here it will record that it was in 1st of May of 2019, so really nice. And personal records are really nice to me. And then we also have here an interesting thing, which is add accounts. For example, I've got here my Strava account. I don't even go to the Strava app, what I do is when I finish, I press stop on my watch and it will automatically upload the exercise to Strava, which is really, really nice. I also have connected to Health Apple data, and that is it. In my particular case, I don't use any other of the apps that it's right over here. And then we have these settings, and basically that is it. A few more settings right over here, but nothing that special. And we have the notifications right here on the top corner. Guys, this is it. In my opinion, it is a great app, really well balanced with all the data that I do believe necessary. For me, more than enough. But of course, I really enjoyed to have the information right over here. And although some of them I don't use, I do believe that the app was great, but right now it's even better. If the video was helpful in some way, don't forget that usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.